What do we got here today? All right, I'm all set up. I already got my laptop up, or my desktop up. Sorry. I'd like to get another laptop. It's been a while since I've had one, like a decade or more. I have, I think, two or three that belong to my father that got in bad shape that I could probably get refurbished. Is that the word I'm looking for? Refurbished? So we're going to read from the Dhammapada. This is a translation by Ignatius Warren. Hey, Brian. Brian says, good morning, friend. Good morning to you. Nice to see you. Hey, Paul. Fitness such as here. Brian says, these seem to be... what do you mean, Brian? Hey, Brian, how are you feeling? So it's been said, I can't find a version online that I like that's easy to read. Ignatius Warren was a very important teacher for me. His translations of spiritual classics from the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Buddhism's Dhammapada, as well as Christian mystics have been very influential on me as well. The first form of formal meditation I learned was from Ignatius Warren. Brian says, I'm okay though. Oh, not good. The baby's got me sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Paul says, sorry I missed you most of last week. Been slowed down there with work. Understood. That's all right. I haven't seen you live this week. Did you go live yesterday? Hey, Skits. Miss Blipper is here. Hello, Miss Blipper. And Easy's here. Easy says, hey, Eric. Oh. Brian says, I meant to say this seems to be my morning routine. I'm glad to be part of it, Brian. So a week ago, the Dhammapada is said to be the actual words of the Buddha, handed down in oral tradition until finally put into writing. Such as last night, we did our podcast. I'm sorry I missed it, Paul. I will try to catch it for the replay, though. Let's see, everyone's saying hi. Brian says I'm ready to listen. So we can actually go in anywhere in the Dhammapada. The wisdom here is that containing the actual words of the Buddha, committing ourselves to the practice of Buddhism, the Eightfold Path, leads us out of suffering into awakening, into enlightenment itself. Brian says, Miss Flipper, hello, love. Hope this week brings you much light. Says Skits to Brian. Miss Flipper says, sending love to Brian. So I always loved the twin verses. I've read this before. I got a few other things that I think might be helpful for us. The twin verses, to me, contain the essence of the perennial wisdom. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Suffering follows an evil thought, as the wheels of the cart follow the oxen that draws it. Here, an evil thought isn't evil as in doing harm unto others, or, from an entity that we could call Satan or the devil. In Buddhism, they talked of Maya, and not Maya as in just the illusory world, but Maya as in the demon of confusion. That it's not a separate entity from the mind, that it is the aspect of the mind that leads us into delusion. So an evil thought here is anything that takes us from the heart of love, anything that takes us from the heart of Buddhism. Hey, Balk, how are you? Balk says, hello, guys. Hope you're all well. And Susanna, thank you for the like. Much appreciated. So continue. Twin verses. Our life is shaped by our minds. We become what we think. Joy follows a pure thought, like a shadow that never leaves. So here's the choice. Where are our thoughts leading us? This could be taken directly from A Course in Miracles. Again, when it says an evil thought, doesn't mean evil as in a sense of, I'm doing the devil's work. It means evil. It is not bringing me joy. It is not bringing me peace. This is why A Course in Miracles says that we can choose the crucifixion or we can choose the resurrection in any moment. We can choose one, we can choose the other. If you are not at peace, again, from A Course in Miracles, you have chosen wrongly. If you wish to be at peace, choose rightly. A right thought is always a thought that is based in love. It is always a thought that is of true joy. Getting back to the Dhammapada. He was angry with me, he attacked me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Those who dwell on such thoughts will never be free from hatred. He was angry with me, he attacked me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Those who do not dwell on such thoughts will surely become free from hatred. Again, this is straight from the prayer of St. Francis. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. That's the essence of forgiveness. If we dwell on persecution, if we dwell on the crucifixion, we are always crucified, and that's what we teach. We teach others that we can be persecuted. We teach others that we can be crucified. Do you want a life of joy? It is possible. It doesn't mean that things don't happen. It doesn't mean that things that cause suffering won't happen, but we can still be free of suffering by realizing, you know what? It's not happening to us. Here's the laws of consciousness according to Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian shamanism, that life happens to us is the lowest energy of consciousness. Life happens for us, a little bit higher, and we get to learn a lesson from everything that happens in life. Life happens through us is the third highest. The fourth, the highest level of consciousness, life happens as us. We are life happening. It's not to, it's not as, it's not through. It is that life happens. Life happens as us. We dive back in the conversation here, guys. I see that Miss Flippert said, fits in very well with today's lesson. Meaningless thoughts endanger fear, but there are no meaningless thoughts. But we can perceive or believe that we have meaningless thoughts. Perfect. Amazing how that coincides, isn't it? For hatred can never, this is twin verses, Dhammapada. For hatred can never put an end to hatred. Love alone can. This is the actual words of Buddha. Love alone can. Hey, Jennifer. Welcome, my friend. Kidir says, Botak. Welcome, my friend. Let me read that again. For hatred can never put an end to hatred. Love alone can. This is the unalterable law. People forget that their lives will end soon. For those who remember, quarrels will come to an end. To me, that reminds me of Carlos Castaneda, when his teacher, Don Juan Matus, the Yaquoy shaman, told him that death is ever present and stalks us always on the left side, ready to tap us on the shoulder at any moment, and we never know when. We never know when. If we realize that, a large amount of our self-importance would simply vanish. You wouldn't have time to quarrel. You wouldn't have time to fight someone who bumped into you, who cut in front of you in a traffic jam. Would that really matter, your last moment, where your place in line was? Easy says, what is love? That's a great question. And you know what? All I can say is we're led to it on our own. I can't tell you what love is. but it can be revealed to you. Does that make sense? Does it sound like a cop-out? Here's what I was reading this morning. Chapter 6. I mean, I could give words. Love is the absence of fear. Love is the all-allowing presence that allows for things to arise. It's unconditional. All of that being true. But you gotta dive in. You gotta dive in the heart. And we could switch the words around from the Tao Te Ching and say, the Tao begins with the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. Love that can be described is not truly love. All we can do is, as the Course says, offer symbols of symbols twice removed. Every description of love is a symbol of love. Love is the actuality. When you wake up in the morning with a smile on your lips, simply because you exist and you know that it was gifted to you, you know love. So the Course begins with, the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that can't be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks of awareness to love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. Only love is real. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. So what is love? Excellent question. Now, spend the rest of your life figuring it out what it is. Ask your heart, show me love. And see what's given to you. Don't ask anywhere else. Don't even ask God. Ask your heart. Ask what's present inside of you. Show me love. And allow the obstacles of love to be removed. I'm going to read one of my all-time favorite things. And it comes up almost instantly. If we have to have a description, here is my favorite. If I give everything I own, and if I hand my body over so that I may boost, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, it is not jealous, it is not pompous, it is not inflated, it is not rude, it does not seek its own interest. It is not quick-tempered, it does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians. Give me a second. So we could say, according to Course in Miracles, my own interpretation of the Course in Miracles from the heart, love is the demonstration that from the crucifixion, we can offer resurrection. That when we are all placed upon the cross that others would wish to put us, when we put ourselves upon the cross, when we wish to crucify others and put them upon the cross, instead, we can offer them the resurrection. We can offer them a moment, a holy instant of being reborn in the depth of our heart. We can see them clearly for who they truly are and hold them in the light of the resurrection. That is love. Of course, again, that is symbols of symbols twice removed, but you can know that in your heart because you can do that. In any moment, you can choose a holy instant. You can choose a holy relationship versus a special relationship. A special relationship is both good and bad. A special relationship means you've done something to me, something good or something bad. A holy relationship is when you are offering me a lesson of love. And in any moment, we can have a holy relationship. All right, let me catch up with you guys. Miss Flipper says, love doesn't conquer, but sets all things right. Beautiful. Hey, Sabine. Good morning, Yogi, Eric, and chat. How are you, Sabine? It's also a healing mechanism. Thank you, Sniper. Another beautifully offered description from Squirrel Sniper. Let's see. Jennifer says, Eric, did you see my new reel on my Facebook? I didn't, but I will look for it. Brian says, it's a force. Absolutely. Love is not a habit, like walking to the sun. Miss Flipper says, easy cinnamon for truth. Hey, Sniper. Greetings, beautiful souls from across the pond. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up. Party pop. But again, easy. I urge you to let every single description go and simply ask your heart, show me the way of love. Reveal to me love. And see what happens. Hey, Isaac. Brian says, I did Ho'oponopono. It felt wonderful and totally changed my outlook. It's a beautiful practice. I'm going to be... Oh, I made a video with my drum. Nice. So were you drumming Ho'oponopono? Because, man, that sounds like a awesome practice. I'm going to be teaching more and more Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. I don't want to leave off that last pono. Let me bring up Brian's channel so I can check it out after the live stream. We got a few more minutes. We're going to chat. Isaac says, saying you won't go to church anymore just because you had a bad experience is like me saying I won't go to any more restaurants just because I had food poisoning from one restaurant. That's a good point. Hey, Vamps. I was thinking about you, my friend. How are you? Laura says, can you say my names, please? Laura? Laura Garism? Is that a G? I can't really read it. I hope I got it right. I hope maybe just the first name will suffice. Laura, my friend, welcome. Vamp says, Isaac, I agree. Speed says, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? I'm good. Hey, Sabine, have you started your workouts yet? Vamps is saying hi to everyone. I got your channel up. I'm going to check it out, Brian. That sounds absolutely awesome. Let's see. Lagesh says, your hair looks very good. I like the way you said that. Your hair, like my one hair, looks very good. I am particularly fond of that one hair. That's my favorite. It's the only one that hung in there. All the other hairs, man, they jumped ship. They gave up the boat. The traitors. How dare they? But that one hair right there, on top of my head, it had faith. It believed in me. Sabine did work out. Awesome. How'd it go? Easy says, I don't think it's possible to live life fearlessly. Fear dominates everything. But does it have to? Who would you be in the absence of the thought of fear? If you didn't have a thought of fear, Easy, who would you be? As Richard Bach, all-time favorite author, puts out, argue for your limitations, and they're yours. We're entitled to our limitations. We are entitled to fear. We are entitled to our beliefs. However, they paint the life in which we live. If one person has ever transcended fear, Jesus. If one person has ever transcended fear, Buddha. And they put that out as a possibility for all of us, then why can't we? The entire essence of yoga is transcending fear to a loving heart. It's realizing that the mind is projecting fear. We experience fear, we project it, we live in a fear-based world. However, instead of projecting fear, we get in touch by asking, show me love, and then extending it. And now we live in a loving world. Brian says, I didn't know what I was doing, but something worked. Here's the wonderful thing about Ho'oponopono. You can't do it wrong. Ho'oponopono literally means to set things right. Gramps is saying hi to everyone. Lagish says, bro, why not hard? Because it's much more fun to go easy. Brian's laughing. Vamp says, my daughter's traveling today. She'll be back home on Wednesday. Prayers, Vamps, prayers for safe travel. Vamps is laughing. Safe travel to your daughters, Vamps. Sabine says, I put a video on Stuart this morning and did the exercise exactly as Stuart does in the video. That went quite well. Awesome. All right, let me add Sabine. Where is it, Sabine? Miss Pippa says, Course in Miracles asks us to show that Christ didn't die, but demonstrating that he lives within us. Yes. Otherwise, the entire lesson of the crucifixion would be lost. She says, so it works for me very well that way. I'm glad that it's working for you. I'm going to Tennessee for the holidays. Nice, Jennifer. Our friend Brian lives in Tennessee, and Michael Burkeen lives in Tennessee as well. Nope, I'm sorry. Brian lives in North Carolina, but not too far from Tennessee. My apologies. Speed says, because I am an early person, I like to do my exercises in the morning. Me too. The third thing I do in the morning is my more extensive yoga routine. Ramps says, thank you. You're welcome, Ramps. Jennifer, what holidays are we talking about? Speed says, because I am... Oops, I read that. Vamp says, told her she history checks by midnight. If not, I'm setting my cousin on a search mission. Brian says, yes, Miss Flipper, yes. Sabine says, Eric, I watched the video and did my exercise for the video. Oh, did not record. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Did you go to day one? Did you go to the very first one that he did? Goldie's offering love to Miss Flipper. Speed says, not yet. So, that was from the Dhammapada, the twin verses. Might read more later this week. One of my favorite books, because you can just dive in anywhere. Like here, just open up. This is chapter 2, Age, verse 152. A man who does not learn from life grows old like an ox. His body grows, but not his wisdom. Just an incredible, again, these might be the only actual words of Buddha himself. Just as many biblical scholars have said the only actual words of Jesus are the Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount. Everything else is an apostle saying, or a disciple or an apostle saying, and Jesus said. I've read before that if every single word in the entirety of the Bible was destroyed, with the exception of Sermon on the Mount, that alone would be enough to base the entirety of Christianity upon. Vamp says has to. Yep, your daughter has to check in by midnight. Oh, Valentine's Day. Okay, that's not too far. Vamp says he lives in the same city. Miss Blipper sends love to Vamps. Miss Blipper sending love to Jennifer. So guys, in just a minute, I'm going to shut things down. I'm going to make my breakfast. Let me close here. This is in chapter 6, section 1, beginning on paragraph 13. This is what we were talking about a bit before. I really appreciate Easy bringing the topic of love into the conversation, because we can't go wrong talking about that. I'm on it, Jennifer. Thank you. I brought it up right now so that I can make sure I don't forget, as I do have a tendency to do so. So this is paragraph 13. The message of the crucifixion is perfectly clear. Teach only love, for that is what you are. If you interpreted the crucifixion in any other way, you are using it as a weapon for assault rather than as a call for peace, for which it was intended. Teach only love, for love is what you are. You know, an excellent form of self-inquiry. Ramana Maharshi taught, who am I? To keep returning to, who am I? But as well, we could ask, what is love? And in any form of self-inquiry, the answer isn't important. What's important is the question itself, the inquiry, asking, what is love? And when you can perceive it, when you can perceive that love is the seed that bursts open to the first blossom of spring, when you can see that love is the sunrise where darkness parts for the arrival of life, when you see that love is forgiveness that is offered between two people in a holy instant of recognition, then you're actually living it. You don't need to describe it. You don't need words. Vamp says hi to Balk. Did I miss that? I apologize, guys. So, Balk says, hope you all have a great day. Night. Thank you, Balk. And it is night for Balk. He's going to get ready to go to bed, I think, right? Thank you for well, thank you for ending your day with us. It is much appreciated. So, I guess I'm going to head off. Just about a little past 5:30. Some breakfast, take a walk, get in my workout. I will not be live streaming our workout today. I'm taking a lesson from our friend, Love Our Toy Pups, who says I should be working on my long form content, because that is where the residual income comes from. That people don't generally rewatch live streams, maybe a few people, but they will rewatch something long form content if it is of interest to them. So maybe a kettlebell workout, someone will have an interest. Who knows? Brian says, have a great day. Eric, Brian, when I eat my breakfast, I'm going to be watching you drum, Ho'oponopono. I'm going to be doing some long form content offering some lessons on Ho'oponopono. Miss Flipper says, teach that I did not, that I died not in vain. Teach not that I died in vain. Teach rather that I did not die by demonstrating that I live in you. Beautiful. From A Course in Miracles. Jennifer says, okay, have a good workout and have a good walk. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm going to be watching you right after the live stream too. Miss Pippa says, I'm going to watch Brian drum too. Man, I wish I could play something. I wish I could play something even badly, and I would ask to join. Miss Pippa, do you play an instrument? I would ask to join Brian, and we would all Ho'oponopono together. Hey, you know what? I could recite Ho'oponopono with Brian. Play gong? I could play gong. I could play gong. I could do my love tuner. I could ring my bell. I could ring the bell. Brian could drum. The love tuner, it's in the 432 hertz. Sets us in the vibratory state of love. What is love? Listen. Ring a bell, hit a gong, follow the sound until it recedes into absolute silence, and you will discover love. Love is the acceptance of all things. Does not make distinctions. Miss Pippa says, I wrote a whole song on chimes. That's awesome. When do we get to hear it? When do we get to hear it? Or how about on a live stream if you want to come up and read it? I would absolutely love it. But we could have our own kirtan. Kirtan is the yogic practice of devotional chanting, devotional music. Drumming, playing the harpsichord. Oh, it doesn't have lyrics yet. Jennifer says I want a piano, but I don't have enough money for it. Let's start a GoFundMe for Jennifer. I will contribute. All right, guys. Gotta go. Breakfast, walk, workout. In that order. I will see everyone later. Thanks for joining me, Miss Blipper, Jennifer, Goldie, my friend, Brian, and Easy, the Incredible Bulk. Hey, the Incredible Bulk, do me a favor and tell Belle that I said hi. Sabine, I'm glad you had a good workout in. Our new friends that showed up. Sniper, hope you have a good day at work. And I hope you feel better, Brian. Isaac, thank you for coming in. Easy, again, I always thank you for adding to our conversation. Whole conversation took that theme because of what you added. And I appreciate that. There she is. Belle. Miss Pippa says it does have a story. I'm looking forward to hearing how it unfolds. My friend, thank you so much. Love, best theme ever. It is, absolutely. Every single, hey MVP, thanks for showing up. Much appreciated. Good morning to you. Every single live stream could be voted to that topic, and maybe it should be. Maybe we can make it that way. I think underlying everything that we talk about, it is. I think it's the underlying theme of everything that we do. My friends, I'll see everyone later. Take care.